Greetings everyone, and welcome to my coin collection. Today's coins are a set of formerly circulating coins from the Federative Republic of Brazil, released during the period 1986 to 1989, when Brazil used the Cruzado. It is important to distinguish that because Brazil has had more currencies than most countries during their history. Currently, Brazil uses the Real, which was introduced in 1994. It replaced the Cruzeiro Real, which had been the currency between 1993 and 1994. It, in turn, replaced the Cruzado Novo, which was in use between 1989 and 1993, and that currency, in turn, replaced these Cruzados, which we are looking at today. So these are already three currencies in the past. However, Brazil hasn't always changed currencies so quickly. Some of the earliest human remains found in the Americas, Luzia woman, were found in the area of Pedro Leopoldo, Minas Gerais, and provide evidence of human habitation in what is now Brazil going back at least 11,000 years. However, very little is known about the history of Brazil before 1500 CE. Archaeological remains, mainly pottery, indicate a complex pattern of regional cultural developments, internal migrations, and occasional large state-like federations. At the time of European discovery, the territory of current-day Brazil had as many as 2,000 tribes. The papal bull Inter Caetera had divided what was then known as the New World between Spain and Portugal in 1493, and the Treaty of Tordesillas added to this the following year by moving the dividing line westwards. On April the 22nd, 1500, Pedro Álvares Cabral became the first European to claim sovereignty under the sponsorship of the Kingdom of Portugal over what is now the territory of the Federative Republic of Brazil. From the 16th to the early 19th century, Brazil was a colony and a part of the Portuguese Empire and used the Portuguese real as currency for most of that time. In 1747, however, the Brazilian real started to become a separate currency unit when the value of the peça, used for calculating the value both of gold, which had been discovered in Brazil in the 1690s, and of slaves, was raised by 10% in Brazil but not in Portugal. When Brazil gained independence in 1822, the real was retained. It was not subdivided into smaller units and was affected by significant inflation during its long lifespan. The practical currency unit shifted from the real to the mil reis, 1,000 reis, and then to the conto de reis, 1 million reis, literally one count of reis, in the final years of the First Brazilian Republic. On the 1st of November 1942, the real was replaced by a new currency, the Cruzeiro. The old reis banknotes and coins remained in use for a while. Some were overstamped with the amount in cruzeiros. New Cruzeiro banknotes were printed starting in 1943. However, after the military coup in 1964, subsequent devaluation of the Cruzeiro rendered prices unwieldy. So on February 13, 1967, the military government decreed its replacement by a new currency, the Cruzeiro Novo. From 1970 it was simply called the Cruzeiro and was in use until 1986. The contemporary epoch in the history of Brazil, known as the Sixth Brazilian Republic or New Republic, began when civilian government was restored after a 21-year-long military regime in 1985. Politically and economically, this was a transitional phase while the change to a new constitution was taking place, and these coins were part of that transition. They have a coin rather than a medal alignment, so appear upside down when packaged like this. On the obverse of each of the coins we see the state emblem of Brazil, which has largely remained the same since 1889. At the very centre is a round shield containing 5 stars arranged in the form of the Southern Cross, a feature of the flags of a number of nations in the Southern Hemisphere, including Australia and New Zealand. Around the edge of the shield are 27 smaller stars equal to the stars existing in the national flag. The round shield is itself on a 5-pointed star, with each point divided in 2, something that is much more visible on coloured versions. This larger star is laid over a sword, where you can see part of the blade, the hilt and pommel at the base of the star, which has another smaller star in that pommel. Behind all of these, forming a wreath or crown, are 2 plants. On the left, as we look at it, is a coffee plant, while on the right is a tobacco plant, representing two of the significant crops from Brazilian economic history. Below all of these is a ribbon on which the central and upper part reads República Federativa do Brasil, while below on the left and right are the words 15 de Novembro de 1889. The reverse of each of the first 5 coins follows a standard formula, with each of the coins just getting a little larger as the value of the coin increases. Across the top is the country name, Brazil, with the year date of mintage at the bottom. In the centre is the numeral for the value of the coin, immediately above the denomination, centavos. The final coin, the one Cruzado, has the date above the denomination. I hope you've enjoyed looking at these coins with me. If you have, please like the video and leave a comment down below. You might also consider subscribing to my channel to ensure that you do not miss any of the upcoming videos from my collection.